Hey guys, and welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I, Michelle, make fantasies come true one story at a time. And today we are going to be working on edits slash writing. We're going to be doing a lot of book stuff in this video, hopefully. Today is May 25th. It is Memorial Day. I had a pretty busy morning already this morning. It's currently like 2 something. Okay, almost 3 o'clock. I ended up having to mow my yard because it needed to get done. I tried to go see my grandma like 3 different times, but instead I just went to each of the cemeteries around here that have my family members buried in, and I said a rosary with each of them. So I prayed 4 rosaries. I will say, hold on, I'm gonna get the, my little cheat sheets out. I, for some reason, always struggle with the luminous mysteries. Like, I'm able to recite, I know all the mysteries of the joyful, the sorrowful, and the glorious. But when it comes to the luminous, I struggle. And I don't even know why it is, because, as I see it on the paper, it all makes sense. But, for some reason, maybe it's because I don't pray it that much. Because, each day you're supposed to pray, certain rosaries or, certain mysteries. Like, Monday is joyful. Monday and Saturdays are joyful. Sorrowfuls are on Tuesday and I believe Friday. Then Gloriouses are on Wednesday and Sundays. And then Luminous is on Thursdays. So I feel like Luminous always gets the butt end of a stick. And so, I don't know, I always just struggle with the luminous mysteries. And even then, sometimes Thursdays are probably my roughest day. So that's why I don't pray, I don't pray the luminous mysteries on that day. And I'm like, that's terrible. So today, when I actually do, my evening prayer time, I am going to pray the luminous mysteries and actually say it correctly, because I was at my local cemetery. And I was saying it, and I was just like, I don't know. I know the last 2. And then I put the Miracle at Cana as the first one, and I'm like, I'm just struggling. I don't know. Maybe it's also because I said, 4 rosaries in a matter of, 2 hours. Yeah, so it was fun. But I had a really good time. I really enjoy going out to the cemeteries. And since today is Memorial Day, it just made sense to say the rosary with everybody. But anyways, today, like I said, we are going to be working on writing stuff. Primarily focused on JJ's project. I feel like I'm a broken record when it comes to JJ's project. I'm always working on it. I'm always doing something with it. And yeah, that's kind of how things are going. So the couple things that I need to work on are, first, implementing the edits that my editor has given me. I have all the edits in this red little folder. So my editor is my ex-school librarian, but she's still a school librarian. And what she does is, so I send her off either the whole book that's done or each act that's done, depending on the book. I used to send her the full book of Bugztopia, which I have a whole talk about that too that I need to discuss. But for JJ's story, since the book might be 100,000 words long, and this is solely what I'm working on, I was like, I'm gonna give her, each act individually. So she prints off the papers, and then she red marks all of the stuff. She mostly does, proofreading, so I'm like, I think I need to get more eyes on my papers, my books, besides just me and this editor. That's kind of why I'm looking for critique partners. I'm not actively looking for them yet, but maybe I should. I don't know. But I'm wanting to find some critique partners to hopefully help me grow my writing, scope. And the reason I feel like I haven't done this because I'm always like, oh, I'm good. And I feel like that's a Gen Z thing to think, is oh, I'm too good for this. But it's not that I'm too good. It's that I've been doing this for a while, or I just don't have the money, And I'm like, critique partners, you don't pay them to critique your work. You share your work with each other. So you know, like one person, like I finish, say, a chapter, they finish a chapter, we switch and we could critique it, kind of thing. So that's something I'm kind of looking for. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do yet to find it. I could ask you guys. I like, if you guys are wanting to critique, like have a critique partner with me, I'm more than happy to do it. Leave a comment down below telling me what's going on. Leave me your email, or you can email me at, what is my email for this channel? I don't know. I really don't remember. I don't know. But you just leave a comment down below and I will get in contact with you. And then, like, all I'm looking for in a critique partner is someone who writes in similar genres with me. But really, what I'm looking for is someone who specifically focuses on Christian fiction. Like, just someone who is in the scope of Christian fiction. Like, you don't have to be, like, solely Christian fiction. But, like, anything, like, any kind of scope of it. Like, just someone who's very religious while also writing books, you know? And the reason for this is because I am, obviously, JJ's Story is a very Christian fiction novel. It's a contemporary Christian fiction novel. While my other pen names, so I actually have 4 pen names now. There is Grace, who does JJ's project. There's Shelly, who does the Bugztopia books. There's Maris, who does the fantasy world. But there's also a new one. Her name is MaryAnn. She is the one who's solely working on the picture books about different saints. She hasn't really worked on any picture books yet, or like any like new ones. She's still kind of new. What happened was one of my other alters, she kind of was like more of a traditional Catholic, if that makes sense. Like, okay, this is gonna sound so weird, but so in my system, I'm somebody who has some sort of dissociative disorder. In my system, we're all Catholic, and there used to be two primary ones that were focused on Catholic. Well, was like 3. There was one that were like the sisters of the head, or they were sisters that had angel wings. They kind of manage everything. Then there was Grace, who was kind of more of like, I wouldn't say alternative, but she looked more modern than this other part. I'm not going to give you their name just because it's, I don't know, it doesn't feel right, because they're no longer there, but I don't know, it just feels weird. But so this part, I'm just going to call her H. H and one of the little Marises. So Maris has all these like little children. They are kind of children, but they're also age range, so many different ages, but they look like Maris with like a galaxy aspect to them, and they help implement like creativity into each one of my heads, like each one of the alters and the pen names. So what happened was one of these Marises, the Marises don't really have names, they're just little Marises, but the little Maris and H started to fuse together, and they ended up creating MaryAnn. And what makes sense is, so I'm just gonna go into this, but so like also a little bit of Grace fused in to make what MaryAnn is, because like Grace wants to write these well, she used to want to write these Catholic saints, but now that part of her fused into MaryAnn, like it's so vastly different of how they each appear, I guess. So like like MaryAnn, like I guess Grace doesn't have that desire to write these Catholic saint books anymore, while MaryAnn does. It's all, I don't know, like I know the brain is like a wonderful place and so cool. Like I don't know how else to describe it, but other than cool, like the way it has molded itself over years of trauma, because like with whatever I've got, it is trauma-based. Even though I say I don't have any trauma, and I'll stick to that, it's still, there's like emotional abuse that is over time frame, like over my entire life. Started in early childhood, and I just never felt like I fit in. It's nothing against my parents. It's just strictly how I was, I guess, designed, I guess. Like, okay. I feel as if everybody, like, every child is different, obviously. Some children are, like, I don't know how else to describe it, but, like, with my nieces and nephew, I see how vastly different my two nieces are. And I even see how different my nephew is compared to my niece. And it's just so vastly different. And obviously, I'm different from my siblings. But it just happened, like, whenever it came to my trigger, like, my, trauma response, I'm more of a freeze person. So there's flight, fight, freeze, and fawn. I'm more of a freeze, which means more dissociation kind of stuff. So whenever it came to trauma, I really did dissociate, and just a new person was formed. I don't know if that's right, but, like, a new person was formed in that situation. And I'm getting better at healing. It's just still, like, I'm right now discovering a lot more alters in my system because we are slowly, so I don't know why I'm going down this. I'm just in a chatty mood. But so my altars, my headspace is like this one house in the center of my headspace. And then all around the house, there's this black void-like area. There is a void that is black, and that's where dark memories go. But outside, there's almost more like a dark gray hue that has, if we call it, like, the wandering. And in there, we'll see, like I can see, like, glowing lights that are floating around and sort of, like, fading almost. Like, they come in super bright, then they fade. Kind of almost like a galaxy and, like, the stars. I don't know, that's kind of how I feel like everything revolves around the galaxy in a way. But it's just, like, sometimes they will glow really bright, and then as they start to, the glowing represents how strong of a person not as strong as a person, but if we're prepared to go down that path, I guess. So as they get brighter, they come into the house and they start forming what it looks like a person. They enter through the chapel, they come in, we discover them. It's chaos, but my headspace is evolving. It's just what's gonna happen. What was I saying? I don't know. But so right now I'm in the early stages of looking for critique partners. But I'm also saying, like, I think whenever Publish and Thrive reopens, which I don't know when it opens, but I have Publish and Thrive. I've got it back in, like, 2024, I feel like. And I'll, like, she has a why can't I think of the word? Membership, like, not membership, but, she separates us into master classes. That was what it was. And so I'm gonna see if I can find critique partners more heavily focused in the Christian fiction Christian fiction world. But yeah, I'm gonna take a little break, and I'm gonna talk about what's going on with Bugztopia 2 before we get into writing. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I'm going to talk about what's going on in Bugztopia. So, as I said, I'm leaning more into the Christian fiction novel world, or Christian fiction place. And with that, I'm wanting to become a religious sister. And I'm wanting to get my books published under this publishing house that's for the sister, for that convent. The place I'm looking at is the Daughters of St. Paul. Haven't gotten in contact with them, mostly because I'm waiting to get JJ's story done, and I'm also got, like, this 5-year goal, so I'm like, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't happen. But at the same point, I currently am looking at Bugztopia, and I'm like, something doesn't feel right in this book. And I'm not 100% sure what it is, but at the same point, I'm like, when I look at the books, I'm like, yes, they hit what I wanted. Like, I wanted them to be like Hank the Cowdog. But at the same point, like, I feel as though that's not what the market wants. And I'm also like, I feel like when I was writing it, like, I felt when I was writing it, I was very immature in a way. Like, I just didn't have the knowledge that I do now. And every time I go to write a new book, I'm like, this, like, I go in, like, Shelly's there, but her writing has changed. And she's like, I can't go back and rewrite. I can't go on and write more books in the Bugztopia world because that's not my writing style. And, like, each of our, like, as we grow as a person, our writing style does change. Everyone's writing style changes. It's not as, I guess, the same, like, each pen name still has their own distinct way of writing, but their writing, Shelly's writing has definitely changed. And because of that, we're like, okay, if her writing's changed, we need to look more at the big picture. And since we're not publishing any new books, and we're this whole becoming a sister is kind of looming over us, not looming over us in a bad way, but like in the back of our head, we're like, okay, what is our game plan? And I think what our game plan is to rewrite the Bugztopia books. And this is not going to be an easy task because we do have like 13 books written, but I feel like those books are not complete, and they, like, our writing back then, or Shelly's writing back then, was very much like, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and it all happened very quickly. And I'm like, I want to set up the world a little more, and also have, like, not necessarily as as severe, not severe, but like, maybe lessen the intensity of the issue at hand, maybe. Not 100% sure, because I still do like how book 6 ended, but since we're rewriting it, who knows what's gonna happen. But I'm almost wanting to, like, I haven't gone into details with all my pen names. I'm Shelly right now, so fair warning. But I haven't gotten in contact, me and the other system members haven't gotten to have a sit-down chat about what I want to do with the book, and how we all are going to somehow, yes, my books and Grace's books are different, and same with Maris's, but yet we want them to have some similarities. And that's what the Christian element is. So we're going to have more faith elements, but also we are going to start, not, my books aren't going to necessarily be super, gospel hymn songs or anything like that, but, more talks that are more Christian related. So, faith talks and morality and stuff like that. The main concept of Bugztopia is not going to change. It's going to still be a detective book series. But looking at different morals of people, almost. Not 100% sure, again, what's going to happen with it. All I know is we're going to rewrite it. We're still planning on selling the original version until we decide whatever's going to happen. People can like this idea or not, but it's just how we want to do it. Because we still do have, we're still wanting to sell the books because they are good books. And we're also wanting to still make money if it's possible, but just, we are working on the background of it, kind of thing. So yeah, Bugztopia is gonna get rewritten to have a more Christian elements to it. Also go more in depth with the story. I'm kind of almost, since we just read the Nocturnals, that's kind of more what we're, leaning towards, but not have it end with, a hockey game, Still have the elements of, this is a real world and these are police officers, which means we'll probably have to read some police detective work books, but just, I don't know, describe it and write it different, pretty much. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going on in my world as Shelly. I will say right now Maris is around me. Maris still hasn't had time to work on her books just because we're so focused on all these different projects. But I know Michelle, so the host, the body of the person who runs this channel and stuff, I know she would like to get back into working on Maris's book. She wants to get us in all these different places to work on our books. So work on Shelly, work on JJ's book, work on my book, and work on Maris's book, and also try to find research about these different saints. We have all these books, and we're just okay, we have all this idea, but we still need to find time to pray and be around Jesus for an hour and stuff. So we're going to probably, we're thinking about possibly, doing, a personal curriculum, or doing some writing challenges, maybe daily, trying to set up new habits. I don't know. We're trying to think of all these different things to possibly help us expand, like not expand, but like help us have more regular hours of the day, kind of have it more like a schedule. I will say the problem is right now we are still working on the house, and I don't know how long we're going to be working on it for. We could get it done pretty quickly. Like, we only have like 3 rows of siding left to do, but Dad could want to do more this year, so we're unsure, and it's going to be a process. So it's just like, I know Michelle is kind of right here right now, and she's like, do we start trying to set up a personal curriculum and really set it up? Or do we continue on this path that we're on? But I'm like, I don't really want to continue on this path. Like, this path has been very lackluster, to say it the best. Yeah, so it's just, we're working through some things. I find it funny how we were like, oh, this is going to be a writing day. But we've talked for over 20 minutes about this topic. So, yeah. So I don't think this is going to be a writing update or anything. We are going to just close it out here. Sorry, this isn't a writing content, but we are just going through some stuff, processing things. We will plan on having we will have a video up about something about our writing, because we still do need to write. But how that's looking in the future, I don't know. Everything's up in the air, so just stick around for the journey. Life is gonna be hitting us, so, and not hitting us in a bad way, but like just coming at us, and we need to work as a team. So yeah, that's all I gotta say for today. I hope you guys all have a lovely day. And remember to keep making fantasies come true, one story at a time, okay? And I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye!